fourth straight game, I don't know if y'all know this, threw at least 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. 4 straight games of that.
But
He's
one of
playing
those
great.
games got him a D.
Exactly, but it's
the team.
Yeah.
He's part of a team. He's not an individual.
Sorry.
All right. Secondly, his 2 receivers we just saw, CD and George Pickens. That is an awesome duo. Pickens, man, that dude is sweet. And so is obviously CD. They almost had 200 yards receiving.
Okay.
You mentioned Javonte runs for over 100 yards. The defense actually held the Commanders to 20 points because 22 they gave up the safety. So the defense, I thought, I'm not saying it's murderer's row of defenders, but it definitely showed big time improvement. So Cowboys, way to take, your medicine last week when I gave you a D and come back and get an A.
Wow.
Excellent work by the Cowboys. Outstanding.
No singers for the A?
Just
At this time.
Never know. Okay.
It's still early in the school year.
Can I be a substitute teacher?
Adjunct professor.
There we go.
Well, that's good.
I'll be that.
Teacher's assistant.
Whatever he just said.
See, I knew
No,
that.
I'm definitely not teacher's assistant. Here you go.
Yeah.
And I like to grade on the curve sometimes.
Oh, you're giving a grade out as
That's
well?
what he asked if
yeah.
you can be
Oh,
an
I thought we were just like in role plays.
Well, you can just make comments. As
Go ahead, Wright. Go ahead.
And I look at the Cowboys and I'm like, you know what? This is a team that I have to start grading on the curve. I don't look at their defense. I'm going to grade them based on their offense.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're not even bringing defense into consideration?
I'm not with the Cowboys. Obviously, if they get to the playoffs, they're going to have to play some sort of good defense. But what's going to allow them the opportunity to win?
The offense.
The offense.
This is the Bengals with me in a fight corollary.
You know what I
thing
mean?
you
And
do.
so when I look at this offense, I watch that interview with CD and George and the chemistry and the appreciation for one another, and I see it translating to what they're able to do offensively. Oh, the running game is going. Dak, you mentioned playing the way he's playing. Like, this is why this team is being talked about. This is why they're getting the A from you. It's not because of the defense. This is what's going to allow this team to remain competitive week in and week out. They got to score points. Those two have to be a driving force, and they got to have some semblance of a running game. They have all of that. Dak is playing great ball. I give them an A as well.
All right.
Well, I'll give them
done.
an A. I'll give them an A too. If we're just doing great.
Well, that was
That was just well.
Offense.
I wasn't prepared to give them a grade. I'm sorry. I will show the Cowboys' offense statistics. Points third, yards first, 390 a game.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Wonders who's 2-1 in points.
Okay, well, Colts is. I stuck the Colts into the A lot. Yards per game 268, 16 passing touchdown, and now that CD is back, we thought Rashee Rice is going to make a big impact. Now that CD and George Pickens are on the field together, they're out here cooking. I think the big question is outside of the grade, because I think we're all going to give the offense an A. Is like, are you ready to start believing in the team? I thought the defense was a little showed a pulse.
Oh, I don't know about
They
that.
showed.
I mean,
you don't think they even showed a
well,
pulse?
I think that
They showed a
I think
pulse.
you
The
can.
kid didn't
I
go out
think
in the
you
first
can,
quarter.
be DOA and have toe tag on, and Marcus Mariota comes into the game, and the doctor's like, I think we can save him. And so, like, I do think that I'm not sure how much of that is the Cowboys having a pulse defensively, but my feeling on them is unmoved but complimentary. The compliment is Dak is playing the best ball of his life. And his numbers are, if record wasn't a factor and you looked at his numbers, which I think we can show you, his numbers are MVP caliber.
He would be.
And
absolutely.
and I think about the team, they can beat anyone. There is not a team, when you have that level of offense,
Correct.
in any given week, you can beat anyone. I think it's evidenced by the Packer game. I know they didn't win that game, but they and they can lose to anyone because the defense at any given week is liable to let Bryce Young score 30.
Right.
And so it doesn't. No, don't worry about the Commanders right now. We'll get to the Commanders stuff later. But I do not think the Cowboys are anything close to a viable contender, particularly in an NFC where right now the Lions are in 7th place. Like, that's how stacked the NFC is record-wise right now. But I do think seeing them on your schedule sucks.
Yeah.
because they can score 40 as easily as any team in the league, and I think they are proving that consistently. And I have to be fair to guys when I've been very skeptical or critical of them. I have never been a George Pickens guy. I've been on the record repeatedly saying I don't think players like that contribute to winning, and I thought the antics were a net negative. He's been awesome, he's been the most productive he's been while being the least pain in the butt that he's been throughout his career. So for the first 7 games, that was a great trade for Dallas.
Yeah, I don't care about the grade for the Dallas Cowboys right now. I think it's a more interesting conversation about, how much can they be contenders, and it's a fascinating question. Because Dak has been playing great. Dak has been playing just absolutely excellent and last. And yesterday he was absolutely excellent. He was essentially flawless. You can't really judge the defense in this game against the Commanders. They were missing their top 4 offensive weapons, including Jaden Daniels, for the bulk of the game. So, not to say that if Jaden Daniels stayed in that game, that things felt good, but it's just, would I really judge the Dallas Cowboys offense if CeeDee Lamb and Pickens were gone and Dak was injured? Of course not. Just like I didn't for the Kansas City Chiefs when they had their injuries and their suspension. So I'm certainly not going to do that for the Washington Commanders. So the defense did feel like it had a lot more juice and energy and fight in them, but whether that's good enough when you're actually going up against a better offense and a healthier offense remains to be seen. So that's not a real strong takeaway, but the offense has been playing great. And I guess it's kind of similar. It's kind of like the cousin of my take with the Kansas City Chiefs when evaluating them in the terms of just the NFL as a whole, and like, where do we rank all these teams? Where do we put them? And the reality is that this season is kind of so messy in terms of how strong or how weak any team is in any given moment. And right now especially, it just feels so important. Like in years past, it almost felt like, especially these last couple of years, it felt like, man, you actually can go a really long way with a great defense. You can go a really long way with a great defense, and your offense just has to kind of have a pulse, and you can maybe just don't turn the ball over. Just find a way kind of through it. And right now, considering how some of these games are unfolding, it's just like, man, you better put up the points. You better put up the points. You better put up the points. You better be able to find ways to score. Ivon ways to score. You're going to win the game. And it just seems like we're kind of almost like, I don't want to say we're going backwards to what it was back in, I can't give you a time frame, but like when it was just all about the points, and everybody was like, no one cares about defense anymore. Defense doesn't matter. Get over it. And then we had the pendulum swing back, and we were like, no, defense is huge. Defense, 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 defense. And right now, it's kind of just like the pendulum's kind of just swinging all over the place. Like everyone's winning in so many different ways. And when I see how some of these other teams feel kind of disconnected or kind of having some of their issues, whether it's injury related, coaching related, whatever, Old Reliable is going to be a powerhouse offense. And really your only reason why you would even question the Dallas Cowboys offensively when you're looking at them through, like, are they a contender, is, well, can they get the job done against the best teams and in the biggest moments, which is what we have not seen the Cowboys and Dak do in the past. That would be the only reason why you would have question marks surrounding that. But when you're looking at the 49ers, when you're looking at the Lions, the Eagles, when you're looking at all these teams, no one has truly been consistently elite or consistently great. Like, I keep emphasizing this just doesn't feel the same as it did last year when we really pointed to a handful of teams that we were just like, that team is legit. I just don't get that sense as strongly. But when I was making my own tiers, which I post on Wednesday, I think it is, When I look at the rankings of these NFL teams, nothing to do with projecting into the future and nothing using the past as a reference point. So it's like, I don't know what the Cowboys have done in the playoffs. I don't know Patrick MS, don't know Dak, don't know JN, don't know any of these guys. It's just strictly what do I see this season and this season only. That's it. Nothing else. No sense of like, well, Mahomes is really clutch in the playoff. Nothing to do with that. Strictly, I'm looking at it right now this season. When you look at a team like the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to look at that offense and be like, yeah, I don't want to face that offense. And the defense is like, you know, what other offenses are rolling? Now, it is weird when you see a team like the Carolina Panthers be able to get after it. When you even see a team like the Chicago Bears, who have been struggling, offensively at least get after it. And so that is obviously a massive liability, and they've been fortunate to a degree to be able to, I don't want to say come out unscathed, but they've been able to limit that damage. What will that look like against the offenses that are healthier or that are just operating at a higher level, right? That's, what happens when you face the Rams, when you face the Chiefs, when you face the Lions, et cetera, et cetera. So don't really have that answer, and then you're now putting all the weight on Dak and this Cowboys offense to be able to keep up. But as of right now, if you were just like, hey, you got to play a team in the playoffs right now, who do you want to play? The 49ers or the Cowboys? I mean, like, you'd be hard-pressed to say, I'd rather have another, I'll take the Cowboys, right? Like, I don't think you'd have that sense, honestly. Just because anytime a team can put on a lot of points, anytime a team's offense can really get after it, it's a scary proposition to go up against. And, can the defense do anything? Can Jerry make a trade by the trade deadline to boost this defense and to actually make a run at this? Maybe that's also a possibility too. But the offense has been great, which is what I predicted. I said the offense was going to have a ton of success. But, in terms of the team as a whole and how much of a contender can they be, I think in the NFL right now, outside of maybe like the Chiefs and whatnot, like the Cowboys feel like just as much of a contender as anyone else does. Everyone talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being a big contender, right? And the Seattle Seahawks, let's just stick to the NFC. They got in a crazy battle back and forth. They talk about the Packers being a contender, right? And the Packers got in a crazy back and forth battle with the Dallas Cowboys. So if everyone's defenses are kind of failing each other in those moments, the Detroit Lions defense, whether it's injuries, whether it's coaching, whether it's just because if everyone's defenses are kind of failing each other, well, then it's just like, all right, what can you do offensively? And that's what you're looking at with this young. That's what you're looking at with the Bucks. That's what you're looking at with the Lions. Now, when you're watching that Lions versus Chiefs game, you're like, the Lions offense is going to have to find their way through this. The offense is going to have to find their way through this. Same thing with the Bucks taking on the 49. Whatever it may be. So that puts the Cowboys in a position to contend just as much as any of these other teams at that point. So it's fascinating, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Dak and the Dallas Cowboys? Do you believe they are legitimate contenders this season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.